It's Ron Reader digs the universe. I'm Ron Reader, and this is Ron Reader Digs the Universe. And tonight, art snobs, or the masses can bleep my bleep. The two bleeped words are respectively suck and dick, making the full uncensored title read Art Snobs or The Masses Can Suck My Dick. And that's what a friend told me 30 years ago during a fervent conversation about the concept of being an artist. I had a lot of conversations on that topic at that point in my life. I was a full year into the undergraduate theater program at the University of Texas, and we had taken a lot of what I like to call arts indoctrination classes: music history, art history, theater history, dramatic theory and criticism. We were all really excited about it all, processing these new thoughts and ideas, trying to situate ourselves as individual artists in this new world of art. So I was talking to my friend about these topics, about the arts establishment, and I asked, what about the masses? That's when she said, the masses can suck my dick. I think that she might have been reading some Ayn Rand at the time, as many young artists do, attracted to all the right-wing bullshit talk of unappreciated genius or some shit. The really fucked thing about that, of course, is that Ayn Rand doesn't give a fuck about your art or artists or the arts in general. She was writing about predatory billionaires crushing and owning the human race. Not very artsy, if you ask me. Anyway, this conversation I had so long ago set me up for a lifelong consideration of this artistic duality, playing to the people versus playing to the elite. I mean, with a few notable exceptions, art has historically always been for the elite, simply because the aristocracy has been the only societal institution that could fund it. The 20th century finally saw some of that exclusivity breaking down as regular, ordinary people had more access to the arts, but the wealthy elite still control the flow of money, nowadays directed by a weird class of critics and academics who tell the rich what they should buy or fund. And that's mostly a good thing, I think. Critics make intellectual sense out of art. Critics keep artists honest and coherent, but it's not all good. The critics can be herd-like sometimes and just plain bizarre in their assertions. For instance, postmodern artist Jeff Koons does interesting, meaningful work. I like his stuff. On the other hand, I don't find him to be any more brilliant than any other serious artist I've ever personally known. To the critics, however, he is art god, and his work sells for millions. It's a totally absurd Emperor's New Clothes situation. Meanwhile, out here in flyover country, and back when I was teaching high school and considering such things as dress codes and the perceived value of arts classes relative to other classes, I came to the inescapable conclusion that American society just doesn't care too much about artistic creativity. And you know, throw into that the idea that to most people, relevant art is pop culture, and the massive American entertainment machine strongly suggests, simply through its dominance, that art is something that only famous people do, that you can't really do it yourself or even understand it, so just consume. So the vast majority of Americans don't give a fuck about your art. Sadly, art is a relatively small part of what we are as a people, so artists relating only to critics and the arts establishment, then, well, that's just a big ego-gratifying circle jerk. No one cares. It's all kind of pointless, generally. But, you know, it's not impossible to do work that is both critically sound and has mass appeal. The Beatles, Shakespeare, Mozart, Monet, Picasso, all universally loved, all continually critically successful. Artists should play to the critics, yes, because art needs to be intelligent, meaningful, cohesive, but the people artists need to blow away is their audience. I mean, what's the point in being an artist anyway? To serve a self-appointed, self-adoring, weird artistic elite? Or to serve humanity? To serve humanity by observing reality and then reporting the full substance of your observations in ways simple verbal articulation cannot accomplish. And if that's simply an entertainment function, then good, because entertainment comforts and relieves suffering. So don't be an art snob. Don't ever forget that in the grand scheme, nobody cares about your art. I think artists should work their asses off to change that. I'm Ron Reeder, and this has been Ron Reeder Digs the Universe. Join me, Ron Reeder, again next week for another episode of Ron Reeder Digs the Universe.